Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today at what I like to call our Landlord Guild. Today we want to talk about tenant screening, which is one of the most important steps of protecting your investment and ensuring the profitability of your rental. In this video, we're going to go through some of the key steps that you should cover in your tenant screening. And we're also going to share with you our super secret superpower of tenant screening that you don't get from your normal searches. I'd like to introduce myself. First of all, I'm Steve Tyree from Tyree Properties. Our management experience is spanning 3 decades and many thousands of tenants screened. I'm commonly asked to speak to groups of landlords and investors in our area and beyond. If you're looking for great tips, you've come to the right place. I'm going to go ahead and dig in. The first thing I want to do is cover 8 steps of tenant screening that anybody searching on the internet or checking AI model right now for answers can come up with the basics of the things that you have to do. What you miss out by doing those searches and going it alone rather than being part of a group like a landlord guild or a real estate investors association or a landlord association is you miss out on the experience that all the many screenings, avoiding all the landmines, all of the cons that some tenants are trying to run, professional renters trying to take advantage of landlords when we're just trying to provide housing in a fair way. So the things that you'll find you need to do if you do a search, I want to be sure to cover them for those that are inexperienced and need to get the key points. One is a credit check. It's going to help you evaluate the financial health of the tenant, including any debt payments that they have to be able to carry and their payment history. You need to verify income. We're typically checking pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns, 1099s, and verifying with employers. You need to check their debt to income ratio. Some guidelines are rent plus their utilities expense needs to be no more than 30% of their gross income. Another way to look at it and an important thing to consider is their total debt. So on that credit report, you're going to find their car payments, their retail payments, any kind of debt that they're having to service each month. You want to be sure their total debt load, including their rent and utilities, is under or equal to 40%. Now, a lot of landlords will use a rent multiplier as a rule of thumb for that. You just have to be careful when things are not the average type of tenant financials, but a common rent multiplier would be to look for people making 3 to 4 times the rent in their gross income each month. We do an employment verification is an important step of the 8 critical steps. You want to confirm they're still employed with the employer that they put on their application. You want to identify them and verify it. So get copies of IDs to ensure the applicants are who they claim to be. Last thing you want to do is rent a property to somebody and it not be the person that provided all the supporting documentation. You don't even know who you're renting to. You want to check their landlord references. So contact past landlords about their past behavior, payment history, and how well they took care of the property. Another one is pet verification, and that ties into the references. So ask that landlord about the pets that they had and how those pets did in the prior properties. You want to verify the pet's details, confirm with a photo, and ensure compliance with insurance restrictions if there's any breed consideration that your owners and insurance agents have. Last of the 8 critical things to do is a criminal background check. Now be careful with this one. Research your local legal guidelines, how to do it properly, and use the information responsibly. Same goes for that credit report. Now the secret superpower that we've developed in tenant screening, and I remind people to do on a frequent basis, is know who you're talking to. Really know you're talking with the right person and getting the information from the correct source. We've avoided a lot of scams by doing this, whether it's the employment verification or verifying their identity. Their identity's an interesting one. I'd like to invite you to search for our separate video telling the story of the spoon lady for an interesting example on identity verification, and also on landlord references. You want to be sure you know who you're talking to. The last thing I want to do is call the number that they gave me on the application for a landlord and be talking to somebody who doesn't own a rental property, is not a property manager, really was not a landlord. It might have just been their uncle or their friend who's trying to help them rent a good place. So before we go on to the next points, I want to take a moment to tell you about our company, Tyree Properties. We're a full service residential rental management company, and we work best with landlords that are growing their portfolios in our market. I love working with startup landlords, maybe their first rental or their first couple, or they finally got into a small collection that's more than they want to handle part-time, and they realize that property management is not a part-time endeavor. All the things that you need to learn and be on top of to have the best performance of your property and take care of the property itself. It should be a full-time effort. Otherwise, you're gonna get subpar results at some point. So if you're a landlord looking for a professional property management company in the High Point, North Carolina area or the surrounding Triad area, please reach out to us. We can help you with a comparative rental analysis on what your property should rent for. Even if you just want a second opinion, we can help you with all aspects of property management, from tenant screening, handling the leases, maintaining the property, conducting regular inspections of the property to be sure tenants are reporting needed maintenance and keeping it well. Also, any turnovers we can manage when the tenants do have to move on to another residence. We can ready the unit again for rent, handle all the photos, marketing information, publishing that broadly so that we get a good base of applicants to choose the best tenant that you can find. One of the key tips that we'd like to share is maintaining your consistency and fairness in your screening process. If you do the same process every time, regardless of applicant, it's going to help you avoid discrimination and abide by fair housing laws. We'd like viewers to add their tips that have served them well in tenant screening. There's a lot of individual self-managing landlords out there that have been in it for a long time too. So if you have an example, like a go-to method for your tenant screening, please share it in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. So I want to re-emphasize the importance of a solid screening process. It's the #1 line of defense to keep your property in good shape and keep it performing financially. I love bringing groups together in landlord guilds, and this is our video version of doing that, to share best practices and just help landlords. So you can all help each other and we can help you in the future. Please encourage viewers to like, subscribe, share this video broadly, and anybody seeking professional property management services, please go to our website, make contact with us. We're happy to provide guidance, help, education, in hopes that we'll be your first call when you're ready to hire a professional property manager. So thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up, share it with as many landlords as you know. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our landlord tips in the Landlord Guild. If managing your rental properties becomes overwhelming and you'd like expert help to handle tenant screening and more, we'd love to assist you. Please reach out to us at TyreeProperties.com. We're in High Point, North Carolina. We serve the greater Triad, Piedmont Triad. We'll be happy to help you maximize the profitability of your investment holistically and keep your properties in a way that would make your mother proud.